The Headache of America. The Life and Days of John Dillinger. America's first celebrity criminal and public enemy #1. A hero who stole from 20 banks and 4 police stations. He wasn't a bad boy. John Dillinger was born on June 22, 1903 in Indianapolis, Indiana. When he was 3 years old, his mother died from stroke. Some people say she died because, according to her husband, it made her an invalid. His father, John Wilson Dillinger, was a grocer, a very strict and harsh man. Was believed to have used harsh physical punishment to make his son a good person. This made Dillinger angry and rebellious. Day by day, his character was being built. He was fearless and tough at that age. When he was 10, he organized a small gang, the Dirty Dozen, which stole coal from moving trains and pulled street pranks. He was the leader of his group of friends, not because he was dangerous, but because he was very likable and charming. When they were caught, everyone was frightened. But Dillinger stood there with arms folded, a slouch cap over one eye, staring at the judge and chewing a gum. He was only 10 years old. His father always punished him harshly, beating him with barrel staves. Barrel staves are very heavy and strong wood. They can even break bones. He chained him up in the back of a grocery store for hours. It's so terrifying to punish a kid like that. When his mother died, his sister raised him with her children. She was only 16 years old. Marriage and raising children, it's too much responsibility for a 60 years old girl. He loved his sister so much. She was like a mother to him. He lived in her house until his father remarried, which made him feel lonely. Some people say he didn't have that bad of childhood, but he lost his mother too early. His father was a very harsh man. His older sister left him with his father, and Dillinger resented his stepmother. She wasn't bad, but he was young and thought she had replaced his mother. I don't think all those things were easy for a young innocent child. I think most criminals, of course not all of them, they have a harsh father and a terrible childhood. But some people have the same experience, maybe worse, and do nothing about the same experience, but different responses. I don't know why. I'm curious. What makes them decide on crime? What drives them to do something bad? He quit school in 1990. When he was 16, got a job in a machine shop. He spent 4 years there, and his coworkers liked him because he was very charming. He loved the gangster movies, fan of Jesse James, who stole and gave to the poor. Dillinger was deeply inspired by James. When he was 20, he fell deeply in love with his uncle's stepdaughter, Frances Torrenter. She was his first love. Dillinger proposed marriage to her, and he was prepared to give up his wild wish to be with her. He was really in love with her. He was ready to change himself for her. She was a bit of light in his messy life. And guess what? His uncle convinced her to reject the proposal. Dillinger was so broken. The only hope he had, and he lost it. What if they had gotten married? Or what if he had changed? To be honest, I don't want to be just on his side. Maybe she had a point. I don't know. But still, I feel sorry for him. After the breakup, he stole a car in an auction. The police caught him, and luckily he escaped. Dillinger's father moved the family to Mooresville Farm to keep his son out of trouble. But farm life wasn't a solution. It made him more excited about city life. Then he joined the US Navy. He served as a fireman third-class machinery repairman. The military's strict orders, discipline, and constant supervision didn't match his intense and rebellious personality. He lived in less than 6 months, then back in Mooresville. Dillinger met a 16-year-old girl, Pearl Hovius, from Martinsville. He was 21. He loved her. They got married on April 12, 1924. But things were not easy for him. He struggled to find a job. Dillinger joined a local baseball team and met a 31-year-old Singleton. Singleton influenced Dillinger to begin robbing. They subsequently began planning to rob a grocery store, steal $50. In 2026, inflation $955. But they were arrested the next day. Singleton was sentenced to 2 years to 14 years. He had a lawyer, and for the case, he served less than 2 years. Dillinger's father told Dillinger to plead guilty and trust the prosecutor's promise of a light sentence. So, they didn't hire a lawyer. He was sentenced to 10 years to 20 years in prison. That was unfair for a young man for an easy score. He robbed $50 and got 10 years to 20 years. But why did Dillinger agree with his father? I know, Dillinger was young to make a decision. Plus, his father was so religious. He believed that pleading guilty and confessing would help Dillinger get mercy and a light sentence. But in the real world, especially in judicial system, it doesn't work like this. After 5 years, Bailey filed for divorce. He was hurt, but I want to know the girl's angle too. What if she waited and Dillinger couldn't change? In 1929, he requested to be transferred to Indiana prison in Michigan City, which housed dangerous criminals, robbers, killers, gamblers. Then he met professional criminals who became part of his gang. Handsome, soft-spoken, and loyal Pete Pierpont, a successful bank robber who used scientific art of bank robbery, sentenced to 10 years to 21 years. Fat Charlie, older than most members of the gang, primary leader and tactical expert, sentenced to 10 years to 21 years. Bobby, known as the Good-Natured One, sentenced to 20 years for bank robbery. 3. Finger Jack, Dillinger's most loyal partner, sentenced to 20 years for gas station robbery. Like Dillinger, an unfair judgment for an easy score. Imagine you robbed a gas station and sentenced to half your age. Dillinger has a quote, "I will be the meanest bastard you ever saw when I get out of here." Dillinger learned many things from his friends. His father organized a petition with 988 signatures, and he was paroled early on May 10, 1933, after serving 8.5 years. When he got out, he was smarter and more muscular than before, and everything had changed. It was the Great Depression era. The Great Depression era, the most severe economic downturn in modern history. America's economy was down. The stock market crashed and lost 90% of value. Many workers, almost 25%, lost their jobs. People were starving. A few desperate bankers and investors killed themselves. The suicide rate was high. Many banks failed and people lost their money. Most people sold everything they had, including their house. It continued for 12 years like this. I don't think I could survive more than 1 month. Imagine you lost your job, your money, your house. You can't even afford a meal, and many children faced diseases. My anxiety would kill me before my hunger. I really admire their strengths. I wish I could hear from them how they felt all the time. It was difficult for Dillinger to find a job, so within 2 weeks he returned to crime. He didn't even spend 1 month peacefully. On June 21, 1933, Dillinger and his two buddies robbed a bank in New Carlisle, Ohio, stealing $10,000, in today's money, $251,000. It was not satisfying for Dillinger as his first bank robbery. In the summer, Dillinger robbed several banks to buy guns. On August 14, they robbed the Citizen National Bank in Bluffton, Ohio, stealing $2,100. In today's money, nearly $52,000. But he was captured on September 22 and later transferred to Allen County Jail in Lima. But he didn't stay long in jail. Before he was arrested, as he promised, he had smuggled guns to his friends in prison. Using those guns, his friends escaped 4 days after he was arrested. They conceived a plan to enable the escape of Pierpont Clark and 6 other prison acquaintances. A few weeks later, Pierpont, Clark, and Mackley walked into the jailhouse pretending to be Indiana State Police officers to extradite Dillinger back to Indiana. When Sheriff Sarber asked to see their credentials, Pierpont pulled his gun and shot him. Sheriff Sarber died and freed Dillinger. They all ran away. People started calling them the Dillinger Gang. In 1 year, they robbed 12 banks and 4 police stations. They were genius as well. They didn't steal blindly. They used tricks. One gang member posed as an insurance agent to see the station's guns. They returned that night, held the officers at the gunpoint, and stole another submachine gun, more vests, and ammunition. Another night, a Thompson submachine gun, a sawed-off shotgun, multiple pistols, bulletproof vests, and handcuffs. They become more powerful and unstoppable. On January 15, the Dillinger gang killed a police officer during the robbery of First National Bank of East Chicago, Indiana. After 10 days, Dillinger and his gang were captured. He was taken to the county jail in Crown Point, which was escape-proof and had posted extra guards. It was impossible to escape from that jail. But nothing is impossible for Dillinger. Guess what? He escaped using a fake wooden gun. A wooden gun. I didn't expect that. Imagine when they found out how he fooled them and how frustrated they were. They were embarrassed. After he escaped, he built a new gang which had more violent and dangerous criminals. Babyface was only 25 years old. I can't understand the age thing. A gang, the most dangerous criminal, running from police, and he had 2 children at the age of 25. Homer Van Meter, a playful personality with high skill as a gunner. Tommy Carroll and Eddie Green, experienced gunmen. A week later, they robbed the First National Bank in Mason City. They stole $52,000. In today's money, $1.2 million. They didn't hide. Instead, they took a vacation. Dillinger met Willie Frechette in October 1933, and they began a relationship. He was kind to her, took care of her, and gave her everything she wanted. She traveled with Dillinger for about 6 months, always helping him hide. She was arrested on April 9, 1934, and sentenced to 2 years for hiding a criminal. Dillinger became despondent after Billy was arrested. They never saw each other again. In May, Dillinger got plastic surgery, and it was very difficult. He did it in a private home without full equipment. The surgeons used local anesthesia. Local anesthesia is like you are fully awake. It only affects the target part and you recover quickly, then you feel all the pain. During the process, he almost died because of anesthesia failure. He received an overdose, which caused him to stop breathing and turn blue. But the doctor saved him. Luckily, he resumed breathing. They used kangaroo tendons as a stitch inside his face to pull his skin tight and lift his cheeks. They used a blade to remove moles on his forehead and change the shape of his chin and mouth. If you have moles, you know how painful it is, even when you easily squeeze it. After a few days, he returned to remove his fingerprints. They burned his fingertips with strong acid. The skin became soft and damaged, and the doctor used a sharp blade to scrape off the patterns. I feel the pain deep in my whole body. Van Meter wanted the same work done on him. The price for the fingerprint procedure would be $500 per hand, $1,000 total. In today's money, only $24,000. After all that, the surgery was a failure. Dillinger was dissatisfied because he didn't look any different than he did. Even his fingerprints were still intact enough for a positive match. Van Meter was so upset too. Extreme pain with bad results. Plus, the price was so high. On August 23, Van Meter was shot and killed. The police didn't try to arrest him. They shot him over 50 times, and 26 hit his body. He was 28 years old. Dillinger met Polly Hamilton in June 1934. Dillinger introduced himself as a Jamie Lawrence and said he was a clerk at the Board of Trade. She was a 26 years old waitress. She worked for Anna Sage as a prostitute in Brothel. She was friends with Anna Sage, the lady in the raid, and they lived in Sage's apartment. Dillinger was compassionate to Hamilton. He helped her with dishes and gave her a diamond. They lived a normal life, going to movies and parks. I'm very impressed by his behavior in treating a woman with love and respect. Even though he had a difficult relationship experience with his father and treated terribly, Dillinger was a gentleman. Hamilton's friend Anna Sage knew who Dillinger really was. She betrayed him. She made a deal with the FBI for a cash reward for his capture. Enemies aren't far away. They're right beside you. The government spent approximately $2 million trying to catch him, which is about $50 million in today's money. On Sunday afternoon, July 22, Dillinger asked Anna Sage if she wanted to go to the show with them. She asked him what the show he was going to see. Then she informed the FBI of Dillinger's plan to attend the biograph that evening. She agreed to wear an orange dress to identify herself. At 8:30 p.m., Dillinger, Hamilton, and Anna Sage entered the theater. When the movie ended, Dillinger walked out the biograph theater with Hamilton and Anna Sage. 3 FBI agents fired 5 shots. 3 bullets hit him, 2 bullets hit his chest, and 1, the fatal bullet, entered through the back of his neck, severed his spinal cord, passed into his brain, and exited under his right eye, serving 2 sets of veins and arteries. Imagine how Hamilton was shocked. Her partner ran from the police and killed in front of her eyes. He died at Alexandria Brothers Hospital at 10:40 p.m. The body was moved to the Cook County morgue. The morgue doors were open to the public for a day and a half. Nearly 15,000 people came to see his cold body. The scene was described as a festival or social gathering, people posing for photos near the corpse. People were crazy. They treated him like an animal. They collected his blood on fabrics, on newspapers. People tried to snip locks of his hair, cracked jokes, tried to touch the body, and stole flowers from the grave. They were so disrespectful. In the era's criminal science, Dillinger's brain was removed for study to see if it showed sign of criminality. Years later, his brain was lost, and 4 days masks were made. His father was terrified the hunters would steal the body or that the FBI would try to exhume it for more tests. The body was transported by horse from Chicago to Morrisville, Indiana. He was buried at Crown Hill Cemetery in Indianapolis. At the Harvey Funeral Home, over 5,000 people attended. I feel so sorry for him. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he did good things, but he was some innocent farm boy with dreams. He ended up like this. So sad. We don't know how someone will end up, including me. I don't know how I will end up. I stand between my two thoughts. I can't decide. On one side, I think about his miserable life. An innocent kid with trauma who lost his mother, had a harsh father with terrible attitudes, lost his dreams, had failed relationships, wasted his life in prison, and he lost his life at the age of 31. He deserved a better life. On the other side, he killed a person. Even if it wasn't intentional, it's a human life. Seeing things from both sides is hard for me. I wish I could change the story. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions.